Hey, hey, what's up? This is your girl Diamond. I go live every Friday at 7 o'clock. Um, Usually talking about some pop culture thing happening or a particular subject or something that I've watched, something like that. But today we're gonna do like a story time. I promised y'all I was gonna do a story time, so we're gonna talk about that. I'm gonna give everybody a chance to come on in. Hey Gigi, hey Kay, how are you? I told y'all that I was going to talk about um I did a video with a guy called the Angry Birds shirt. Basically one of my only boyfriends that I ever showed on here. And I didn't tell y'all about how we broke up, so I wanted to tell y'all that story about that whole fiasco. Now that it's been 10 years. God, time goes by fucking fast. That was literally 10 years ago. But yes, now that it's been 10 years and I'm not angry about it. And a new update has happened. So I wanted to kind of talk about it. So yeah, so hey Brandon, hey Justin, hey CL, hey Shay Boo, Marissa, Andre, Jennifer. That's a new name. Is this a new person? Hey Jennifer. How is everybody doing? This week has been really chill for me. I'm getting back to my healthy self. I've been dealing with like a chest cold for the past week and I'm back to normal. I gag when you said who will be on Marsha's plate next week. Literally gag. I can't wait. I'm editing it now. I can't wait to show y'all. We have a dope conversation. You got to listen to the episode. If you want to know, I give teasers on the episode. You got to listen to this week's episode to know what's going to happen next week. I am feeling better. Hey, Ty. Mm. I got a couple of people under my sleeves that y'all don't know about. I'm going to pop them on y'all without telling y'all. That was just one. I also got something else that I'm doing too. I haven't y'all remember I had started years ago. I had started this series called The Tribe. One of the first is like Tracy Jada O'Brien, and then I did Zion Gray. I wanted to start doing like little small featurettes of trans people, but not famous ones, like just trans people in general who wants to be not necessarily want to be showcased, but I want to do like a small featurette type of thing where I have like a 30-minute interview, not a long drawn out interview, but like a really small interview of me talking to trans people individually. I think I'm going to make like a Google spreadsheet to share to people for people to fill out so they can set up a time with me to record with them, like anybody, like any trans people. So I can start like a little the series will be I want the series to continue, The Tribe. And so I will be talking to trans people, not just like famous trans people, any trans people, and kind of asking them a set number of like questions and like interviews, but like a little short little interviews just to talk about them and where they from and just so I could be introduced to different people that's just not kind of like activist people, just regular ass motherfuckers. I think it's powerful because I have a couple of videos that I've had for years that I've interviewed with people asking general questions, and I'm editing them now, and I've had them for years. and they're people who they're just regular trans people, and I think it'll be kind of dope for me to like continue it. Even some of y'all, I would love for some of y'all to participate if you're trans, trans or non-binary or anybody under that kind of gender non-conforming um, umbrella. Hey Libra, Hannah, Lady Harris. Oh, okay. Work. Jahar, rest in peace. I actually have a video of Jahira that I when she passed, I tried to edit it, but I couldn't finish watching it because I was emotional when she passed. But I have a video of her that I want to it was supposed to be a video where I literally interviewed her like I normally do, but she like literally we had scheduled the recording like the week before she passed. And so but I do have a video of her that I really really like. It's one of her personal videos, and I wanted to share it on my channel cuz I love her. She's so brilliant and I love her as a person. I haven't finished Marsha Plate. I cleaned up my podcast to get me in the zone. I've been on vacation without work. Thank you, thank you. It's not a dress. It is a little top. It's a little top that I got from Ishakti. It's a cute little, just a top. It's cute. I wish it had a little bit more structure right here. You know. Oh. But thank you, thank you, thank you. The last interview was so good. Which interview did I do last? Shar, yeah, I love Shar. Your boobs look natural. They are natural, baby. What you thought they were? All me, baby. All natural. From the earth. I love this idea. Everyday people. Yes, kind of like a trans humans of New York, but not of New York. Transhumans of the United States. But no, I want to do it global. I don't know. I haven't really thought it out. I just thought it would be cute instead of doing like I can do my tip. Like if I have like a celebrity or a popular person, I can do my typical interview, but like a small little snippet, whatever. Yeah, I'll see. I think it's a good idea. Cis women are turning up the hit. I'm getting dirty looks and smart mouth comments at the stores. Are they? I'm having I'm having a renaissance with my cisgender friends. They are amazing. This is the first time in my life in the past 5 years that I have had really close, amazing, supportive cisgender friends. I had some nice friends as far as in my youth, but this is the first time in my life that I've had like people who I consider my inner circle of cisgender friends. I never had inner circle cisgender friends. I need a new chasing threads. Excuse me. Chance is moving to Seattle, and once he get done moving, we'll resume recording. We wanted to talk about the Met Gala, but yeah, I wanted to talk about the blue carpet at the Little Mermaid. Um um but he got married and then his husband got a sickening job as a teacher in Seattle, I think, and so he's moving to Seattle. And so once he hit me up the other day and said once he settles in, he'll be ready to record. So, who was your favorite Met look? My favorite Met look. Let me see. Okay, my favorite Met look. Tiana Taylor. I thought it was on theme. I thought it was sickening. I thought it was modern. I thought it was everything. I thought Tiana Taylor's was fucking everything. Tiana Taylor's was my favorite look of the night. I did post on my Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, follow me at Diamond Stylz. There were some other looks that I like. Let me see what I posted. That's the one I knew that was my favorite, so I got to look at the other ones that I really really liked. Excuse me. What y'all wearing to go see? I posted what I was wearing to go to see Little Mermaid because I told y'all I think everybody should wear sequins, with the scales to make it look like scales or whatever. So I posted what I'm two options that I'm wearing to Little Mermaid's premiere on the 26th. Go on my Twitter, see if y'all like it. Um, Let me see if I can find my other Met Gala looks. Yes, I'm wearing sequins. I know I'm gonna look ridiculous. Not look ridiculous, but think about um think about being in sequence in the middle of the theater. I'm trying to find when was the Met Gala? Am I passing up my Met Gala pictures? Okay. All right. My favorite looks, Tiana Taylor, Doja Cat. Doja Cat looks sickening and hurt. She was on theme. She was campy. It was love. I love Doja Cat. Doja Cat is my sickening. She is, when it comes to fashion and going out the box and doing shit that is entertaining and doing shit that is, um, you know, pushing the envelope in fashion. Doja Cat is that girl right now. She is sickening. So Tiana Taylor is my favorite. Doja Cat is my second favorite. Um, I don't know this girl name, but she looked sickening to me. I don't know her. Do y'all know this girl? Anybody know her name? Her meowing to the question. I don't know her name. I don't know. She's a little too pale for me to know her name. But yeah, I don't anybody know her name? It's not zooming in on the look. Um and my fourth is Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway in Versace. Versace. Oh, Anne Hathaway looks sickening. Um, and I guess my fifth would be Kiki Palmer. Kiki Palmer looked like a young Diane Carroll. She looked this mommy weight on her body. Whatever this baby did to her body makes her look sickening. Her skin is clear, her titties is va 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 voom. She's looking like a young Diane Carroll. She looks sickening. So Kiki Palmer too. So I loved that. Carl was late, but kind of glad she went as Valentino, his rival, as a fuck you to the in a sweet way. You know who went, and um, Michaela Cole went in Schiaparelli, which is a Chanel rival, which I thought was cute. Kiki Palmer was featured in The Voice. Kiki Palmer was featured in The Voice. Okay. The men actually put in effort this year. Oh, the men did actually put in effort. I love the is it Brian William Harris? It's the one that plays in Eternals, the black dude. I loved his stuff. I hated Little Nas X. I just thought that looked it costumey. Not costumey is the right word. It looks too cheap costumey. It wasn't like couture. You get what I'm saying? It wasn't couture costuming. That's for the Met Gala. It looked cheap costuming. Does that make sense, y'all? Not costuming is what you do at the Met Gala, but it looked too. Yeah, it just didn't look right. I didn't like Lil Nas X. Um, Brian Tyree Henry, yeah, whatever, whatever his name is, the black dude that played on Eternals. Excuse me. Um, what other black dude? Oh, Jeremy Pope. Oh, Jeremy Pope looked good with that big old train with Carl on the back of it. Her name is Ava Max. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So it was cheap. His paint was peeling. His piece looked like could his piece looked like I could make them. I didn't even say much because he's a gay black man, but it felt like a safe space. I hated it. Yeah, I hated it too. It wasn't it looked cheap. It just looked cheap down. Okay. So this is a long story, so I'm gonna get started. This is a story time, so y'all can just chime in when y'all want to chime in, but this is just telling y'all story. It is a beginning. I'm gonna talk about um how we started, how you know, went into our situation and how it ended, and then the update. Oh, this right here, this is Le Labo um Lambdom 18. It's backwards, but Le Labo. Oh, this is a body oil. Oh my god. I like the fragrance too, but this is a shower oil that you put on when you get out the shower. I just use it kind of on my hands just so I can smell it. It puts me in a good mood and amps my energy. So good, so good, so good, so good. Le Labo 18. So if you like Le Labo scents, they have like unisex scents. If you like them, that one is Le Labo 18. Um, so excuse me. So when I first came to Houston, I I I just had a hard time meeting dudes who just was on point. There's a video that I have called In Memory of Eric Liche. And I talk about it in that video with him that one of the reasons why I really was disappointed in how that turned out was because he was one of the first dudes who I was hooking up with, that it was a good session and he was fine and it would just we had chemistry. And so he was one of two that I had a good session with. I was like, "Ooh, this is a good session. This is love." Hey Alex, you know what I'm saying? And so that turned out negative. But the other one, that is what this video is about. The other one. So there was only in my early years of Houston, I would meet dudes and they were either cokeheads or super super clienty. And when I say clienty, I mean like really, You know how when you meet a dude and you can tell that he really doesn't care anything about you other than the fact that you're trans, and that's all he cares about. That you and you need to charge him. One of those type of men. I kept meeting those type, which I at the time I don't care about that. I want my coin, so I just would give them my rate. So I really didn't care. But just early on, I kept meeting people, or I'll meet people and they session is whack. Like they coming too fast, they fine as hell, but they piece is little. Um, or I'll meet cokeheads and they piece wouldn't work because they was on coke all the time. Um, yeah, I just kept having really bad luck really, really early on. Hey Troy. Um, really, really bad luck with finding men to have a good time with. Like, I'm a old school girl. I like men. I like men. I like penis. I like the comforts of a man. So sometimes I want to sit up and enjoy an intelligent man to chat with and hook up with, be sexual with, talk, cuddle, da 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 da, all that kind of stuff. So I was having a hard time finding that stuff. So there was two that I really had a really really great time with. Eric, which I did a video about, in the Brandon, will you find that video for me? Um, in memory of Eric Nalechi. So that's Eric. The other one's name was Jamarcus. So, hey, Brianna, the cokehead trader so too often. Yes. So I met there's no special way that I met him. I think I met him online and we vibed. He sent me this. I'm the type of person I don't tell my tea in my bios. How I tell my tea is we chat, 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 chat. If I like you, I ask you to send some pictures and I ask you to send full body nudes. If you don't send them, we're never gonna meet ever. Because I don't waste my time because I am a size queen. So if you don't have the size that I like, then I'm not interested. So I need to know what's up before we even waste our time. That's as simple as it is. So you show me what you got, and then um, I send you my pictures. Now with my pictures, I am going to be fully nude, and that is how I tell you my tea. I don't spend times. Well, let me to explain to you. I'm a special kind of girl. No, I just send it to you. I can show you better than I can tell you the true meaning of that. And so I am sending them a full body nude, piece out, tits out, body out, looking like a transgender goddess. uh, and I like the idea of that because some people, some men, when you tell them your tea regular, like, oh, I'm transgender or I'm trans and da 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 da. Sometimes um, their image of what a trans person looks like may not be what you look like, baby. When I take these clothes off, I am a voluptuous, sexy ass woman with a penis. So when you see me naked, you're going to get a certain kind of vibe. And so so you gonna get that kind of cheesecake, sex siren. And I'm a person who, when I'm in my vibe, in my sexy vibe, I like to I'm an ex escort. So I know how to put on a character and I enjoy putting that character on for men who I enjoy having sex with. So, I might have on a corset, I might have on a bustier, I might have on I don't know. I'm going to have on something. When you come see me, I'm going to have a look. I'm going to be a sex kitten. And so I like to share that image with men that I'm interested in. And so I like to give you the image that I'm giving. So, because also, if a person wasn't thinking about doing it, that image could be a very convincing image. So if you went down before, you might see this image and be like, "Damn, I don't know what's going on, but that image is sexy to me. My dick is hard. Let's go." It might be that kind of situation. So that's how I choose. And then some people's like, "Oh, you should have told me this before." Da, 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 da. I'm telling you it now. My job is to tell you right now before we meet. This is what y'all always say. We should have did. You should have told me this. So I'm telling you in right now before we decide to meet. I'm telling you, boom. Some of them be like, "Well, I didn't want to see that," and I don't care. Now you have a visual. So now every time, and I like to play psychological warfare games. Now every time you think of transgender, you're gonna think of me, that badass red bone that slid you them pictures in your DMs. So you have an image that is planting the seed. That's just me. So that's how we did. I was like, "Hey, you send me some full body nudes, and I send you some full body nudes," and that's what he did. He sent me this beautiful, beautiful picture of him nude, and he is y'all seen the picture of my ex. Y'all seen the video of my ex. He is my type. He is a slim, chocolate, handsome boy, and that is what I like. That you know I like range from slim to thick. Long as you chocolate, the further from me, the better. And when it comes to color, that's what I like. I like you to have lips. I like you to look like an African American. I don't like you to look mixed. I like you to look like a black man. I want that to be very clear. So I don't like you to I kind of don't even like curly hair. I like you to look like an African man, an African American man. I want that to be very clear. And so he hit all the marks. Everything that I like. Piece was right, face was right, body was slim, everything, all of that kind of stuff. So we decide to hook up. This is back in 2008. 2008. So we hook up. The session was amazing. And he's really, really affectionate. He spends the night. It ain't just kind of like a wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Even though I kind of wanted it to be at that time, but because it was so right, like it felt so like, ooh, I let him spend the night without any kind of resistance. Um he was funny. He just had a comedic thing about him that made me feel comfortable. He just was a dope dude. Like he just was we had a lot of shit in common. We was gamers. Everything was fire. Like as far as our chemistry, everything was fire. So fast forward to I think it was fall of 2008. So at this time, I Ty had just moved down to stay with me. Um and like really just moved down. Really, she had just moved down. And a hurricane hit the city, Hurricane Ike. And I had planned a trip to Mexico. I think I was planning to get pumped or something. I think I went to Mexico to get pumped, and um I had already pre-planned the trip. And so most of Ike, I was out of the city. I was out of the city while Ike was hitting and ravaging the city. But it ravaged the city, and every one of the all the lights and shit had went out in the city. In our area, our apartment was one of the only apartments that still had power. That still had power. And so I don't know, Todd, did you stay with Bray? Did you stay with Bray at that time? Because I know you didn't come with me. I think you did. You stay with Bray? Let me know. I think you stayed with Bray. But when I came, by the time I came back, one of our apartment was the only ones that had power. And so like um we were helping the neighbors get some power. We were just kind of, we were just blessed in the sense of having power. And so when I came back home, I called him, the dude, because my mind you, we've been friends. Now it's probably like 8, 9 months that we have been messing around and talking and da 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 da. And because Ike had hit, I see on his side of town that they are totally out of power. So I hit him up and I was like, "What's going on with your power?" And he was like, "Man, we ain't got shit. We ain't got shit." I went to the hotel close by Dallas with Bray for a few days. Okay. Because Ty had just came down. Like she probably hadn't been there a week or something. So anyway, um, and so I hit him up and I was like, "Hey, what's going on with your power or whatever?" And he was like, "I don't know. We ain't got no fucking power. We and nothing is on." And I was like, "Oh, well, I can drive down and come get you because my gay son lived with me too because I had a 2 bedroom, 2 bath. It was me, my gay son, and Ty. And I was like, I can come get you because we still have power. So I can come get you and you can chill with me or whatever." So I drive down to that side of town. Why did I do that? Because if the whole area don't got power, why am I driving to this area? I mean, no power, no street lights, no nothing. I don't know what I was thinking. I just was trying to be nice since I had power, and that's my little boo thing, my little yeah yeah. I was trying to be nice, like, "Hey, I'll come through and come get you." But I'm not thinking straight in the sense of I'm thinking I'm gonna come get you like I normally would come get you, but that whole fucking side of town don't got power. So I'm driving and I don't realize it till I'm already in that mode. So I'm driving on the highway and you get on the highway and lights is out. And so I get off on like Airport Road because he live on in South Park. And anybody know South Park in Houston is like the hood. And I lived in the hood too, but I lived in the hood on the north side at the time. And so he lived in the hood on the south side. And so I went down there and finally, slowly drove, headlights on bright, slowly drove to his house. And I pull up to his apartment, not his part, I pull up to his house and he has me come in and I meet his mom. I meet his they have candles going. This is so strange, but I wasn't in the mood. I'm not in the mood, but I didn't think I was gonna meet his mom and family or whatever. I thought I would just he could come out to the car and we go back to my place. Um, hey, um, the D must have been good, girl. Yes, down, down. Yes, A1, top tier. And so I'm coming in and meeting his mom, and I'm like, okay, cool. Meet his brothers and his sisters, and we go back to my house. He spent a couple of days with me, and it's all good. We just have a really freaking good moment, and shit like this start to happen. Like he start to do stuff to help me out, give me a little coins to pay some bills. Um, Come pick me up, take me to the movies. We just was having this really good, no strings attached friendship where he was just doing things, even if we not hooking up, just fun stuff, just just good stuff. So I was like, oh, this is cute. This is so cute. And so make sure y'all thumbs up as we go. If you are returning, thumbs up. If you are new here, if you enjoy the conversation, thumbs up. It's 40 people in here, but only 14 thumbs up. Thumbs up. And so anyway, so we go to so we're just having an amazing time. Stop right there. While all of this is going on, I am in a relationship with a whole other person. And but we're having issues. And so and the person I'm in a relationship with is in a relationship with a whole nother person. I don't know this. I learned this years later, but both of us are in a relationship together, but we're dealing outside of our relationship because we are having problems. So the situation that I was in with my man, um, he just was one of those dudes who made a lot of money. He was just one of those dudes who made a lot of money, who had the ability to take care of me like a kept woman. Anytime I needed money, he could give it to me. Um, but it was all a facade. It was basically he wanted to have his cake and eat it too. He wanted a relationship with a cis woman to have the typical cis woman family situation, and he wanted me, the trans woman. And he had enough money to have both of us taken care of in Houston. That's the situation that I was in. I didn't know it, but I felt it. So I couldn't prove it, but I felt it and learned it later on when she called me. I have to tell that story another time if I haven't told the story already. But she ended up calling me and we had like a 5-hour conversation breaking down our whole relationship. Um, but that's the situation where I was in where he was playing with my he was basically gaslighting me because I knew something was wrong. I knew something was up, but I couldn't prove anything. There was not there was these little hints, but they weren't I couldn't prove it, but I felt it. No, he's not poly, he's just a cheater. Hey Diamond, you look good as fuck today. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, so I couldn't prove it. So I'm also one of them people that, oh, you want to play some games? I'm gonna play some games too. So if I feel like you cheating and nigga, get the fuck out of here. And it wasn't just cheating. It was playing with my self-esteem. Like he would say shit. Now, mind you, I come from an era of trans women where passing was the thing that you want to do. Being you told that story on Marshall Play. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, Passing was the thing you want to do. This whole non-binary, middle of the road, or not on the road at all, with a beard and that kind of that wasn't that wasn't a part of my growing up as a trans woman. We were very binary women. It's something that I'm okay with, and so passing and getting through with the trade was a rite of passage. So in our city, the girls would test you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Going to the gas station late at night when the gas attendant done got the door closed and you got to go up to the thing and you slide the money in and he slide the products out and the line is long with nothing but hood niggas in the trade. And honey, your homegirls is like, hey, here, go pay for the gas to test your fish. Because they know if you go up in between all them niggas, they gonna either clock you or not clock you because these are thirsty ass niggas. So if you look like a woman, they gonna be like, damn, baby girl, what's up? Da, 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 da. And if you clock, they gonna clock. So these are the type of situations that I was used to being in and used to getting through, honey. I'm a woman, baby. I can come through this crowd, no makeup on, wash face, come through, and not get clocked. That was the name of the game when I was growing up. Now I don't know what's going on now with these hoes now, but when I was growing up, those types of tests were a part of your um rites of passage. And so my my man at the time would be doing these little things to test me. Now, mind you, I transitioned at 13. I transitioned young. So at this age, I'm like 20, 27, 28. And I had already gone through those trials. Bitch, you know who the fuck I am? And I told you there's some arrogance in me. that I don't always haven't worked through. And so I'm like, dude, what? And so he would be trying to test my fish sometimes. And I'll be like, nigga, why you even with me if you think I'm a brick like that? But the key to this situation is he's just doing this to take you down a peg. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, this is how men who are narcissists or men who are manipulators or men who want to control you, they they will try to take you. If you are They are attracted to you because you are a pretty girl or that this level of trans woman, but soon as they get you, they gotta take you down. Oh, I could get these girls try to tell you stories about girls trying to talk to them, and try to tell you stories, ask you just try to diminish you, even though they was chasing you. This just happens. This happens to many women of all types. But yeah, this is one of those dudes who was trying to. He would say shit like, "Ooh, I wonder if I take you to this place, this mall called Sharpstown." If you remember, if you ever been to Houston, there's a mall called Sharpstown. Now, Galleria is the fancy, fashion mall, but Sharpstown is the hood mall. And now it done turned into like a Mexican flea market. But it used to be kind of like the hood. A lot of dude barbershops would be in there, black folks would be in there, just like a hood little mall, like just like a little regular little mall. And so when you go in there, it was nothing but the hood niggas and blah 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 blah. It's definitely Mexican street fair. Yeah, now it turned into something else. But when I first got here, it was kind of like just the hood mall. Regular mall had the regular stores, but now it done turned into a flea market. Anyway, so he would say shit like, "I wonder if I take you in Sharpstown and let you walk through to see what the dudes will say, see if they clock you or not." And so I gotta ask myself. So now I'm questioning, like, why would my dude ask me this? Why would my in Greens Point? Like, why would a dude who I'm with, who you with me because I'm fire or whatever, why would you ask me that? Like, why would you think that I couldn't get through? You see, and first of all, we go out to places, so you see me get through all the time. Why are you playing with my motherfucking emotions? Why are you playing with my self-esteem? Why are you playing with me like this? So he would do shit like that. But what he doesn't understand, which he what he didn't understand is I am a person who was raised to think I was the best thing since Kellogg's cornflakes, or best thing since sliced bread, best thing since the wheel. One thing that my mother did is, and we being honest, I come from a color struck family, and I'm the color that struck. So my family has said I was beautiful all my fucking life. So I don't come from a low self-esteem place. I've been praised for my looks all my life. So whatever a bitch say, you can call me whatever you want, but ugly ain't never gonna register in my mind as I'm ugly or I'm and my crown as passability. I done been through too much shit, passing through too much shit for you to think that I'm just some super, super brick clock box person. No. Am I 100% passable? No. But I get through a lot. I get through a lot. And my life has proven it. And so there's nothing that you can do to make me feel like I'm ugly. It's nothing that you can do or say ever. I done had too many people stunned by me, mesmerized by me. You not about to, and that's what he didn't really understand. You can say what you want, you can try to play with my self-esteem, but there is a certain foundation in my self-esteem that you just can't rock because I have a foundation with my people around me that made me feel sickening. Child, period. That's why I never, in situations when I was younger, I never was intimidated by another motherfucker being pretty, bitch, because I'm pretty too. I ain't never been in a situation where I'm like, oh my God, I'm so jealous. She's so gorgeous. No, I want all the bitches to be around me sickening and gorgeous because I'm sickening and gorgeous. And I want us all to be turning this motherfucker out. So all the bitches I hang with is pretty. Wear it out. So so that's what he would try to do. So it never really would work because nigga, soon as you get weird, I'm getting somebody that look better than you coming, and that's what it was. I got somebody who looked better than you. He coming through and loving me down. So that's what it was. So I had, um, my man and my side piece. So me and my side piece deal with each other years after year after year after year. I am somebody who I like to deal with the same men over and over and over again. Most of the dudes, like right now in my life, most of the dudes that I have sex with, I've been dealing with them for like 10 to 12 years, 10 years plus. Like I've been dealing with them for years. I used to live in Sienna Court on Northborough in 2010. I used to feel like the shit walking to the store. Oh, you right there, Justin. We lived in Sago Palms on Northborough. Right there going to the corner store on Northborough. Right before you get to Rankin. We lived in Sago Palms right there. That's all the stories that I talk about when I'm in Greenspoint. We lived there. It used to be called Northborough Woods, but then it changed to Sago Palms, like maybe like a year after we got there. Yep, that's where we used to stay. I moved from there in 2010. So all of 2007 to 2010, that's where we was at. So yeah, so we were going out on dates. He was coming to my house and we were playing games, like as far as video games. We were just feeling the vibe. You had to be fish to walk around there for the gods. I was where them trade out. They lived. so so yeah, it was just a fucking vibe. It was a vibe. We never argued about anything. It felt natural, and we naturally just got along. And I hadn't felt that in a minute. So I'm enjoying his company. I'm enjoying what he got going on. Fast forward to 2012. So I end up moving from the north side, from where we're talking about. I moved down to the southwest. I moved to an apartment down here on the south side of Houston, and he comes over. We having a good time, doing our normal thing, and so he moves into an apartment not far from mine, and so I go over his house, and he is. I so I'm like, oh, he lives not far, like literally right around the corner. Not walking distance, but definitely a 2-minute drive. So he could come over my house, I can go over his, and it started to be like that. He started to have like a little drawer in my house where he had some underwear. We it started to be a thing, not boyfriend and girlfriend, but um he had some little, he'll have some clothes in my house, and I'll have some clothes at his house. Like I'll have something to wear at his house. So it was something happening that was happening organically. It wasn't talked about. It wasn't, it just was something happening. You feel what I'm saying? Have y'all been in that situation where it's we haven't official made nothing official, but something's happening that's going towards being official. And so at the end of 2012, I come over his house. He lives with his brother. Now, mind you, this is another thing that's kind of tantalizing about our relationship. So I'm in this situation with this other guy who is a down low, very, and I've been in this situation with him for 5 years. Very down low, scary ass, just a down low dude. And then here, this dude, I've never had any issues with being in public with him. He never had to play on, he never made me feel like he was uncomfortable with being out in public with me. He never played those kind of are you passable, are you not games. He introduced me to his people without any fear. His brother lives with him, and I'm coming over his house, and his brother is like, we're meeting, we're playing spades with his brother and his brother's girlfriend. So not discussing any of my tea. So it just feels like he's comfortable and not worried about me getting clocked. You feel what I'm saying? So he's just all good. Like we just have a really, really good vibe. So when I come over his house, his brother is there. His brother is a funny dude. So he's just funny and cool as hell. Um both of his brothers will come over. He has three brothers and a sister. Um, two brothers and a sister. I'm sorry. No, three brothers and a sister. And so they both will come over. Only one I didn't meet. There was one I didn't meet. Um, but the two brothers, thank you, thank you, thank you. The two brothers I met and the sister I met, she would come over, blah, 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 blah. And I had already remember, I already met them before, but this is now we're engaging. Like we're playing spades, we're playing dominoes, we cooking. Excuse me. And so it's all good. Like it's a vibe over here. Like the what's happening in our lives is a vibe. It's happening organically. So one day we are sitting on the couch, not on the couch, we're sitting on his bed in his apartment, and we're just like in the video, in the Angry Birds video. Sometimes we're just laying in the bed and cuddling and talking about whatever comes up. So we're laying in the bed, and he comes out of his mouth and he says, "So why don't we be together?" And I'm like, "Oh, now, ladies, y'all tell me if I'm wrong. Um, Sometimes you'll be in relationships with dudes. I know when I was younger, and you'll not relationships before it's a relationship, you kind of gotta press the issue, nigga. What are we doing? Like, are we in a situation? Like, you kind of you want to make it clear what's happening so we know the boundaries, and so you feel like you kind of not pressuring him, but you put him in a situation where he has to draw the line. Like, what are we doing? Are we together? Like, what's going on? Have y'all ever been in that situation where you got to say, yo, what's happening here? Like, are we together? Are we in a relationship? Are we boyfriend and girlfriend? Or what is happening here? Because it feels like we're in a situation, and I want it to be clear, because if not, then okay, I need to know. So you sometimes you put them in a situation where they have to answer the question, and sometimes they don't want to ruin what's happening and say no. It almost feels like they're pressured in being in a relationship with you. You feel what I'm saying? And so because I had those experiences in the past, I got accustomed to letting dudes bring it themselves instead of me bringing it and pushing the issue. Like, we fucking, we hanging out all the time. What the fuck are we doing? Are we in a relationship? Instead of me being like that, because there have been situations where the dude would be like, I didn't even want to be in a relationship, but I thought we was cool, and it felt like it was like they would kind of weasel their way out of like their culpability of the relationship. What's the time frame for this kind of conversation? I don't know. It's different in different scenarios, but if I'm asking you that, it's because we have been dealing with each other for a long time and we're doing things that are like spending a lot of time together, having sex, and um there's some emotionality happening. And so it's not just, oh, we hooking up, but it's more we spending time, like quality time. Um a steady doing everything people in intimate relationship do. Exactly. It's not a time frame typically, it happens when you feel it. Yeah, it's not a it's really what we're doing. Like, are you coming over my house and we chilling and laying up without even having sex? Are we doing stuff together? Doing more relationship shit, doing all the relationship stuff without the title. Exactly. So I was accustomed to kind of asking like what is happening here. But then I got to, because that started to backfire on me, because niggas would weasel out of it. They will weasel out of the scenario by saying, um, well, I didn't say we was in a relationship, or um I can't really explain how. It's multiple ways of how they would do it, but they would try to take their accountability of leading me on to think that we were something more than what we were. And I hated that fucking feeling, like I was the thirsty person the thirsty transgender trying to make it into a relationship. And I'm like, no, you was a part of this decision too, motherfucker. So I started to hate that feeling. So what I started doing was waiting until they made the pressure to be in a relationship. And if it didn't happen, I stopped doing that relationship stuff. You feel what I'm saying? I stopped. Okay, no. We hanging out too much. Get up and go. That cuddling stop. When it started to be like they're playing games, no, we just here to hook up. Bye. When not playing game, when they start to try to be serious, have all that wifey stuff without the commitment, no, thank you. So him asking me why we wouldn't be together. Now at this point, now this time frame, to give you the time frame of how long we've been messing around, this is 2012. We have been messing around and friends, good friends, doing amazing things for each other since 2008. So this is a 4-year period of time of us establishing, knowing each other, um, and we have a relationship, like a friendship that has been established. Multiple things. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like a this is not coming out the blue. This is, oh, we're getting closer and closer and closer, and then bam, one day I'm at his house and he says, now, previous times I was already in a situationship. I was already in a relationship and he was my side piece. But at this point, I'm not in that relationship. That relationship ended in 2010. So this is 2 years after that. So now we both are single and we are in this situation where we are hanging out more. And so he comes out of his mouth and he says, why aren't we in a relationship? Why don't we try? What's what's stopping us from being together? And so since he asked me that question, I'm like, well, well, I'm kind of flabbergasted, but I'm like, well, if you depends. It's like, how do you want to go forward with this? If we make it official, there's some things that I need to know. Okay. There's some for me to go forward with you, there's some things that I need to know. And so one of those things I needed to know was, and trans girls may relate to this, um, because this is something that I have to I don't want to say a pet peeve. I don't know what to call it, but I don't want to mess around with somebody who has been with my friends. Now you could be with a trans girl that I don't know and I don't fuck with, da 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 da. But I don't want you to have been with one of my friends, my good Judies. So I need to know, like, have you what trans girls have you been with? Not because it's a it's a end, but if we're in a relationship, we can't you can't be with my Judies. Like, no, you can be with other trans girls. I don't care about that, but you can't be with one of my good ones. I draw the line with that. I don't like it. 4 years is a long time. That's like a common law. If we live together, but we never live together. and so and so I said, I need to know everything. I need to know everything that everybody that you've messed with in the city. And you can I won't hold it against you. Don't think that. It's not about me holding it against you. But I'm telling you, I don't want you to have messed with one of my friends and you my man. And so come clean. Let me know who you done dealt with. Let me know who, and I'll tell you whatever you me to tell you, blah, 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 blah. Let me know all of that. So we lay it all out. So he gets on Facebook, he gets on all the sites and tells me the people that he has messed with. And there is one of the girls that he says that it aligns with who he told me he messed with years before. Because in our earlier times, he told me that he had messed around before, but the girl had shitted on him. I guess she hadn't cleaned out, and he does got a big old piece. He does not have one of them pieces that you can just try to play with. You gotta get them guts right with his kind of piece. And so, and so he said when he messed with her, he had, she had dealed him and it was late. And so one of the reasons why he hadn't messed around with a trans woman after that, it was because of that situation. It was like, ooh, this was a really good experience. And he was like, then I met you and I ain't never had that experience with you. You sure have it and you won't. And so we hook up. And so and this has been a consistent story of his. And so he reiterates that he basically shows me her again. He had already showed me her, and then he shows me her again. So his story aligns with what he told me 4 years ago. I remember it because I have a good memory, and so it aligns with it. And he was like, "Then I met you, and you're the only trans woman that I met after her, because it's we vibe. And so if I ever want to vibe like that, you have always been the person. And so cool, it's all good." No reason for him to lie. We just talking. This aligns with everything that he has said before. And I was like, cool. Now that you told me all of this, I know what's going on. We're going to go to this Facebook and we're going to delete her because she was on his Facebook list. We deleted her. Cool. We done with that. Now, this is all a clean slate. Only thing that can happen if I know about everything, cool. Only thing that can make this negative is if I find out some late shit later on that I'm giving you a way out of it. So tell me everything. At this point, I'm not gonna hold anything against you. Cool. But if I found out some bullshit later, that's gonna end the whole situation because we supposed to be starting off on a clean slate with trust and everything out on the table. I don't want no surprises. Got it? And he was like, yeah, cool. What if it's somebody you beefing with? What do you mean by that? So like if it's somebody that I don't like. Um, I don't know. I don't really think about it. If that, I don't want it to be my friend because I hang out with my friends, and I'm gonna have my men probably in a Christmas situation, in a Thanksgiving situation, and I don't want my friends mingling with a man that they done fucked. I don't like that vibe. I don't I don't sleep with my friends, man. I don't want to sleep with my friends, man. I don't want us to have a history. I've never been in that situation where I am friends with somebody my friends is in a relationship with. I've never been in that situation. And I don't want to be in that situation. I don't want to be in a situation where my man is somebody that my friend fucked. I don't like that. It's my late. I don't like it. And so I don't care how long it's been. I don't care if it was one time hookup. I don't like that. I don't want that situation at all. Um so so he comes clean about whatever he needs to come clean about. So we move forward and we make it official. We say, "Okay, we in a relationship now." Great. So um so in the situation, I feel in this moment, I am totally not in love with this person, but I am totally enjoying our time together. And I feel like if it keeps going good, the road to love is clear, sunny, no clouds, beautiful, streets paved with gold. I can feel the vibe growing. Like I know now that this is official and I can open up emotionally because prior to that, I'm a trans woman, so I know niggas ain't shit. And so I compartmentalize my emotions when it comes to hooking up with people. I know not to get all lovey-dovey and birds and the bees with a nigga that ain't gonna go down nowhere. It ain't going nowhere. So why even feel that, bitch? You dumb hoe. Just bang them and go home. And so I'm very keep it keep it wrapped up. And then when it's time, then you open up emotionally, like, oh, we're in a relationship now. So now I can be free. I can be vulnerable. I can be lovey-dovey and sweet and do all the feminine, um, nice to cook for you, massage your back, make sure you uh if you got dreads or hair, braid your hair. I'm a very lovey-dovey feminine lover. So I like to do stuff for my men. Um there's a way that I like to cater. Let me cater to you. So once we have made it official, then that part of me turns it on. So you know how people act like, ooh, black women are too masculine and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. They give all of that. And black women's response is, we are feminine to men that allow us to be feminine. I am absolutely that. Like I'm very standoffish and don't do shit in the early part of our relationship. Honey, you gotta pay for dates, you gotta but once you've made it official, then I turn into, happy homemaker and make you feel good and rub your back. And I turn into, honey, your queen. Pick Misha. Once you're doing everything you're supposed to do, then that's when my femininity comes out. And I do the cooking and making you feel good stuff. It doesn't happen in the beginning. Um, you have to earn that softness. Absolutely. And so that's what happens. We are earning that softness. When you see that video of me and him, we're in that moment where it's sprouting. It's not there. I'm not deep in love with him. Um, but it's sprouting. It's like, ooh. But also, I'm a strategic ass bitch. I do things strategically. That video also was a strategy. I want to put this out there in case somebody in my vicinity that watches my videos know this motherfucker. Because then when I put it up, somebody going, the girls are messy. If they done had your trade or know your trade, just the fact that you are who you are, they gonna want to jump in and say, "Oh, I know him." So let me put this video up to see, put the hook out there, because the girls are gonna come in them comments and say, "Oh, I know him. I know him." Uh-huh. He used to live in South Park. Uh-huh. And they're gonna tell you the tea. But I love to do that. I love testing it. I love testing the waters. Blah blah blah. First of all, I'm testing how comfortable you are public, and I'm also testing the community to see, put some hooks out there for them to see. So nothing came back. If you go to the comments in that video, nobody said nothing. Nothing came back. I'm waiting. Blah 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 blah. I posted some pictures of us together. I'm testing these waters, see what that, and I get no response back as far as somebody knowing him. So everything is going good. So I did a video about meeting his mom and Thanksgiving. If you go back to those old videos. So his mom comes to over his house, and I done cooked the Thanksgiving dinner. She loves it. She is like, "Yo, who is this girl? She's amazing." And I come from a Mississippi family, so we cook all the stuff, not just regular stuff, but chitlins and hog maws, and I'm a cooking ass bitch. That's just what it is. So I know how to do the things, and I know how to do it well. And so when she come over and eat, she like, "Damn, this bitch can burn." This bitch can burn. And so she come over and eat. She take her a plate home, take her a plate for herself, and take her a country whole Thanksgiving dinner. Um uh, take it. Did I cook for you, Brianna, when you stayed at my house? When did you stay at my house? Was that a holiday weekend? Did I cook for y'all? I know it was you and my cousin. Did I cook? I don't remember. Did I cook for y'all? I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, I usually cook for people if they stay in my house for a long period of time. You made some cabbage. Oh, okay. Did you like it? um, but yeah, I do these type of things, and so his mom was vibing. His mom was really really vibing with me, and she and she loved it. She was like, "Oh, this red bitch is spoiling you." She's spoiling you, and it just was a vibe. I could feel myself not in love, but falling in love. I could feel myself going, our cabbage and greens bus. And so the mother is hooked now because she likes the food that I cooked. Um, we are vibing because I'm not a very clean person. Okay. Not nasty. My house ain't never nasty, but I'm I, I'm the type of bitch that wash some clothes and lay it on the bed, and it'll stay on the bed forever. So I'll be sleeping on this side and it'll be a pile of laundry. Clean clothes, they ain't dirty, but they'll be there because I'm lazy and don't want to fold them up and put them in the in the dresser. Or I'll take my jacket off and throw it on the couch. So it'll be sitting on the couch until I pick it up. It's just I'm a messy person, not nasty. I'm messy. So we are the opposite. Like he is super super neat freak, but he hates to cook. He hates the cooking side. So we vibe because I love the cooking part. So he'll get in there and he'll bust the suds. I shake the pots. So I'm shaking the pots. So I'm doing the cooking. He busting the suds. So it was all fire. He gonna clean up. I'm gonna do all the just what that the cooking and the. I do some straighten up too, but it just depends. So we were balancing each other out. Everything was dope. Everything was going fine. Everything was sickening. Um, love, 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 love. So fast forward to we go through our we go through the holidays. We go through if fast forward, it is February, my birthday. So my birthday is at the end of the month. I am going home to Indianapolis. I think my mother had came down in December too. Anyway, when I did the interview with my mother for the channel, I think she had came down in December. Anyway, so my I went back home to Indianapolis for a week. So I'm the type of person that if I go out of town and I have a man, I make sure that my man is well fucked before I go out of town. So I make it a thing. And so yeah, we have a lovely session before I go out of town. Oh, this is another element of me as well. I am not a person that gives my trust 100%. I give 5% of my trust. If I don't find nothing, then I give you another 5%. And now you got 10. Over time, if I don't find nothing, I give you another 5%. And now you got 15 of my trust. And keep going until you have 100%. You get, I'm the type of bitch that's gonna check your phone. I'm the type of bitch that's gonna check your email. I'm the type of bitch that's gonna check because I know niggas ain't shit. I'm an escort. I know I'm an ex escort. I know how men are. They are sneaky. They are shady. They do sneaky shit behind your back. I don't put shit behind them. I do not trust them. I don't care how sweet and nice they are. I don't trust them because I know how men are, because I have been a mistress. I have been a side chick. I have been that person. I know how this is. And so I will keep checking your phone until I don't find nothing. When I don't find nothing, then I stop checking. But eventually it gets to the point where, oh my God, it's been this long and I have never found anything. Um, yeah, so I'll eventually stop checking. And so that's just how I am. So I have checked I got all his passwords. He has all of my passwords. I have, I can check his emails. I can check his messages. I can check every single thing when it comes to how we engage. You earn my trust. Absolutely. You earn it because yeah, it's just what it is. Like I would eventually stop checking when I eventually learn that, oh, I'm never going to find anything because I haven't. In so many times that I've checked, I'm not finding anything. I've never believed a man in my life. um, so I check his messages, I check everything and nothing. So I go home and I go home, we hook up on my birthday. I go home and I come back probably like a week later, like March 7th. I observe down and study you every move and investigate every lead. Amen. So when I come home, I now mind you, at this point in our relationship, we have been official from the October all the way to March. So October, November, December, January, February, March. So this is like 5 months in. Okay. So this is like March 7th. And so I come back home. Um, I come back over his house and we're he would get up and go to work every morning. That's another thing about him. I love a man that works and he would get up and go to work every morning. He just was, he always had enough to pay his bills. Um, yeah, he just was a responsible dude when it comes to paying his bills and going to work every day and blah blah blah. And so he had got up and went to work. We hooked up and he got up and went to work and his laptop was open. That's normal. So I did my normal thing and I go and um check messages. And I go far back to the time when I had left. Not just yesterday, but the whole time that I have been gone, that I last checked. And so I'm going through his messages and I see a message. And it's from the trans woman that, remember I said I deleted off of his Facebook, that he said that he had dealt with years before. And so in the message, I see, now this is how the message goes. I see that it has been years in the message thread that they have not talked. But apparently they both have the same profile, because this is on Tagged. Have y'all remember Tagged? I don't know if Tagg's still around anymore. But Tag used to be, if somebody hit you up from an old profile and you got the same profile, you see all of that, you see all of the old messages. It'll pop back up. And so in this message, I can tell that they hadn't talked in forever. And she hit him up. And so he's talking to her in a sense of very dry. Like she says, "Hey, what's up? How you doing?" And he's like, "Hey, what's up? Hey." Hey. And then they go back and forth, but it's very, very dry. Oh, she asks, "How you been doing?" And he says, "Oh, I'm good." And it's a very, very dry conversation. The day after I leave, this is the day that I leave. The day after I leave, they have this dry conversation. The next day, she responds again, like, "Oh, hey, I ain't seen you in a minute. You must be acting funny." And he says, "No, I moved to a different side of town and I um we just ain't talked or whatever." And she says, "Oh, well, damn, where you staying at now?" And he tells her where he stays at. So I'm sitting there like, where's this going? So I continue to read, and she says, "Oh, damn. I'm staying out here in Katy." And he says, "Oh, okay. Are you trying to come through and get some dick?" Oh, she says, "What's your address?" He sends her the address, and then she says, I guess she looks it up, like how you Google the address, and she looks it up, and it is too far for her. And so she says in the conversation, "Oh man, that's too far. I'm all the way out in Katy and I've been drinking and I didn't want to drive that far." And he says, "Oh, okay." And the conversation goes nowhere after that. So when I come home and I see that, that's the end for me. No, no, no. They never hooked up at this point. They never hooked up because she never gave him her address. It never was a thing where they hooked up. But it doesn't really matter. In this conversation, it feels like you were trying to hook up. Why would you send her your address? If she said she wasn't drunk and she was ready to ride from Katy to come see you, y'all would hook up. So it don't really matter whether or not y'all did or not. I don't really care. Just the fact that this is a session that you were trying to facilitate, baby, I'm done. And so I screenshot it. I don't screenshot, I take a picture of it, and then I send it to him on his phone. Um, I send it to him on his phone, and I say, "Well, you know this the end, but you remember, I'm not. This is early in our situation, so I'm not. It takes a while for me to fall for a motherfucker. So I'm pissed off because this is where I'm pissed off at. We have been dealing with each other for 4 years. We done fucked. So you ain't gotta lie and be in a relationship with me to get in my panties. You already done got in my panties. We already had hooked up. We could have stayed friends, and we could have still been hooking up, and you could have hooked up with other people. In my brain, I'm like, why did you ruin? Because now you have ruined what we had. You ruined it because we could have just been fuck buddies like we were for 4 years. Why would you put me in this situation and try to get me in this relationship with you if you want to deal with other people? Because we could have stayed fuck buddies because we were fuck buddies all our relationship. Does that make sense? Why would you put me in this situation? He didn't want you to deal with other people, but I had already been dealing with other people. I was in a relationship when I met him. It did none of this make sense. There is no logical sense behind it because we could have stayed with each other on a fuck buddy level if you wanted to deal with other people. So it pissed me off. It don't make any kind of sense for you to put us in a situation where we are in a relationship. You asked me to be in a relationship. I never asked. That's the thing about it. I never asked him to be in a relationship. We have been dealing on a fuck buddy level for 4 years. I at this point in my life, I didn't put pressure on people to put in a relationship. We were just having a great time, hanging out together, being cool. He the one pressed the issue. Why are we not together? And I say, cool. Well, this is how we make it happen if you want to make it happen. So you didn't want to do you. I That was the most thing that pissed me off because I wasn't in love, so there wasn't no heartbreak. I didn't feel any kind of heartbreak. It felt like, damn, what was the point? Like, nigga, we could have stayed fuck buddies. If you wanted to hook up with other women, other trans women, or blah 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 blah, you could have, and I wouldn't have asked you no questions because I wouldn't have cared. We could have had fun. You could have had your fun when you wanted to have your fun, like we've been doing for 4 fucking years. Why put me in this situation? So that pissed me off. But I also was at a big old age where I'm like, I'm not giving this kind of energy. I'm in my early 30s. I'm not giving, motherfucking energy. Nigga, okay. I'm in a whole different situation. Coins. I now I got my coins is right. Everything is going good in my life. I can go back to what I was doing. It was all good. I went back to my normal life, back to kicking it with Denethan. Y'all know how me and Denethan get down. We can hang out because I had actually stopped fucking with Denethan. Me and Denethan, I can get the cuddle and the love from Denethan. I can get all of what I was getting with you with him, and I can be good. So I went back to that, and so I packed up my things. I packed up all of my stuff from his house, everything that I had, and I took it back to my house. And when I went to my house, now mind you, he gets up for work at 7 o'clock in the morning and don't get back to like 3 or 4. And so before he gets back home, I have taken all his stuff from my house and brought it to his house, so he has no stuff in my house. um And so, yes, I go home and I literally never speak to him again. Never speak to him again. Like I haven't spoken to him to this day. Never spoke to him again. He sent me a text message asking me, was it over? And I said, of course it is. What do you mean? Why wouldn't it be? Of course it is. And he didn't respond. I was done. So I'm glad he didn't respond because what's the point? Yeah, whatever. So we end the relationship. So that was in 2012, 2013, or something like that. 2000 going into 2013, 2013. Yeah. So fast forward to this year. So um one of them, I'm trying to not to say no names or do a shit. I don't care about saying no names. Anyway, so one of the organizations here in Houston has an event, like has an event, and we it's a partnership between a organ a bunch of organizations. So we have this an event, trans event. And so I go to the event and I meet this trans girl and she is there with her husband. Um it's a bunch of trans people here. It's a bunch of trans people here. So I Brianna is one of them. We all are kind of here and we it's a vibe. We all kind of eating a little barbecue and it's just a cute little vibe. So I meet there's a couple of trans girls in here that I don't really know because every trans girl in Houston I don't know. Um and this girl is one of them and she's there with her husband and she's talking to us. Sometimes when you'll come into spaces and if you are a popular person, like if they know you from things, activist things, they'll try to, I don't know what it is, but they'll try to tell they'll try to tell you what they got going on too. Oh, I do. It's kind of poochie, but not. I don't think it's like an arrogant poochie. I think it's just them trying to say, "Well, I do activism too. I do this, and this is what I do, and I got this thing going on." So she has this case going on or whatever with her she has this case going on with her job, like she wanted to sue them or something. Something went on, and so I'm like, "Oh, I don't know nothing about no legal stuff, so." You fuck with my girl Brianna. Brianna is a civil rights lawyer. She the lawyer. That's the lawyer, bitch. That's the one you fuck with. So let me pass you off to her. She's the one. And Brianna, because she's a lawyer, anytime some legal stuff going on, trans people is like, you a lawyer. Help me. And so that could be kind of funny too. And so her and Brianna get cool. Like you know, they try to have a relationship, like a friendship. But it is kind of weird too. I don't Brianna, do you mind if I tell the rest of the story? I try not to. I'm trying to only tell my part. um I'm trying to tell only my part. So sometimes you are in okay, cool. So sometimes you'll be in these situations where people people will try to be your friend, but they're trying to force a friendship on you instead of just letting it happen organically. So I know y'all been in a situation where somebody, oh, we should hang out. Oh, we should do this. Oh, come on, girl. Da, 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 da." Like they're trying to force the friendship to happen. And so she is trying to force this friendship with Brianna, but Brianna is new to the city. So she was like, well, I kind of want it to happen organically, but look, okay, let's hang out and let's do something and we can hang out and be cool. And so I'm more, unlike Brianna, I'm more like, no, I don't want to give my number to nobody. I don't want to. No, I'm okay. So in the moment of this event, I have already not given my number out. I have already said no. No. But Brianna, being the nice girl she is, she's like, "Oh, well, I want it to happen organically, but let's see where it goes." And so Brianna's birthday is, Brianna had a birthday and she was like, "Hey, I want to have a little get together at Dave and Buster's." Not Dave and Buster's. I can't remember what it's called. It's a little, I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, Jay and Derek's is Phil and Derek's, yes. So Phil and Derek's is this cishet spot that they serve food, they have live music, and so she wants to go there for her birthday. And I tell her, okay, I'm gonna meet you. I'm gonna meet you there once I get done with my little Zoom calls or whatever. I'm gonna meet you there, and yeah, we turn up for your birthday. So she tells me that that her homegirl that she met at the party was going to the party. I was like, oh, okay, she was cool. Because you remember we was at the party and I was like, hey, she was cool. You know what I'm saying? We was at this event. So cool. I like her. She was cool people. So we go to Brianna's party. And Brianna's sitting right here. I'm sitting right here. She's sitting right there. And this girl is a sex change. So she keeps like she keeps talking about like where she stay, like she keeps talking about like her sex change and where she stays, and um because she lives in Katy, and Katy is the area. Everybody has this area of their city. Katy is like the area where you can get a cheap house built in a subdivision. So when people get a cheap house built in the subdivision, they get to acting bougie. Oh, I live in Katy, even though everybody knows that this is a cheap. You can get a house built in this area for super cheap. So it's not like a sickening area. It's just that. So she keeps kind of pooching about this 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 area. And Katy is far as hell, right? Katy is far as hell, so it's not popping. And you with your hot single trans women girls, right? Katie Mills, child, and you with your hot single trans women girls, and you pooching about this suburban life that we don't give a fuck about. You got your husband and you're living in this area. And it's cute, girl, but we don't want to hear about that shit. We kiki and we're hot, single, young, career girl, trans women. Not so young, but you know what I'm saying? We trying to talk, we here and we looking at the trade tip through because we in a strike club. We should do tipping up the trades. We just getting our life. And so the bill comes, right? The bill comes. Now, my rule of thumb is whoever birthday it is, no, the birthday girl don't have to pay for shit. This her birthday. So either I'm gonna pay for the whole thing or that's what it is. And so when the bill come, you know, I say I'm gonna pay for it, but she like, oh well, let's just split it or whatever. I was like, okay, cool. So me and her split it. So now, unfortunately, which I was trying to avoid, I have to give her my number because she only got Zelle. So with Zelle, you got to give numbers. So I'm like, oh Lord, I'm about to give this girl my number. So I had to give her my number so she can give me half of the bill for Zelle. So now she has my number. She has it locked in. And so no, she hasn't done anything negative. It's just It's just like it's just that weird moment of, oh, I know this is gonna be a mistake. Like, oh my God, she's gonna try to be my friend, like she's trying to be friends with Brianna, and it just doesn't feel organic. But we still, she hasn't remember, she's sweet. She's super, she's nice, she's sweet. There's a little weird, humble braggy thing about her, but she hasn't done anything negative. So I don't want to give that sense. She's just kind of overbearing with her friendship or trying to be friendship. Because she keeps saying things like, I have been burned by other girls, and I just want to have some real friends, and da 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 da. So she's bringing this kind of negative. Some people know what they want, and that's fine. Oh God, she gonna try to be my friend. Yes, that is how I felt. And it's not that friendship is negative. It's just that you gotta be organic. And y'all know them people that kind of forces themselves on you. And I'm a Pisces. I get worried about that. I be like, oh no, I'm not an extrovert and I'm not an introvert. So part of me also don't like that kind of energy. Let's ease into it. Anyway, y'all know what I mean. And so bam, she is talking about, she get to talk about, she's like, oh my God, I gotta go early. Is it time for us to go? Me and Brianna kind of feel like, ooh, it's finally turning up. We kind of want to stay, but we also, it gets weird. Yes, an ambivert. It gets weird because it almost feels like me and Brianna want to stay and she doesn't want to stay because she got to go home to her husband. And so, but all right, so we like, fuck it, we gonna go ahead and leave. So we take pictures, like, because it's Brianna's birthday, so we get in our life. So the next morning, the next morning, do I get a text message saying, "Hey, good morning, sister"? Yes, I get a text message from her saying, "Hey, good morning, sister. What's your tea?" She sends me a text message and she sends me a message on Instagram. So I hear her up and say, "Hey girl, what's your tea? Da, 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 da. I'm good. It was enjoy. It was a great time with you last night." And da 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 da. And she goes into this thing about being friends. And so I go into this thing about let it happen organically, let it be, let it happen organically. Let's I just go with the flow. So I don't want you to think I'm acting funny if I don't respond all the time. Sometimes I be busy and sometimes I just be in my zone, but I'll get back to you. It has nothing to do with you. So I'm giving her this, it's me, not you. And I shouldn't have to do that with somebody who's new. So I'm giving her this, it's me, not you situation. So don't think I'm acting funny. And so I go to her page, and remember she said she lives in Katy. And I'm like, oh. So I go to her page and I'm looking at her little tray. I'm looking at her husband. I don't know him. And so I'm going through her page and I'm like, oh, okay. Da, 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 da. I was like, oh, they little house is cute or whatever. And Brianna said she had went over her house for like Thanksgiving or something and she could cook. So so she's offering me to come off her house and eat some of her food. Now, mind you, I'm a good cook, so it's hard for me to go to somebody's house and eat their food if I don't know them like that. And so I'm like, oh, maybe one day I'm passing it off. It sounds like a Lifetime Channel character. Why don't you be my friend? so so I was like, oh, maybe one day. Da, 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 da. So I'm scrolling through her page, scroll, and I go so deep into her page that I'm going, you know how you go so deep on somebody's Instagram page that they start to look different because they're younger and the camera quality is changing because they've been on Instagram for so long. And I get to the portion where I'm realizing that this is the girl. This is the girl that my ex was messaging. And I'm like, wait. And I scroll, and it is her picture from her old pictures, from her old page. Um, from her old page, her old escort ads. She looks like a different person because, first of all, she is now a sex change. So anytime you get a sex change, your body kind of changes. She had lost weight because I don't know what happened, but she was way skinnier as well. So she doesn't look like herself. She either had, yeah, because before she was not as big as I am. She was my size back then. Basically, she was thick. She at the time that this was happening, she was thicker than me. But now we have switched. I'm thicker than her, and she is like slim. Like from the old ads, yes. And so she looks like a whole different person. And once I saw them pictures, I was like, oh, this is that girl. And so my brain is like, I call Brianna, I say, bitch, you will not believe this. Because of all the things. Yeah, she was fleshy. Of all the things, this is her. 10 years later. I was like, this is her. How random is this? She got some other husband. They done moved to Katy. You know, she living her housewife life. And so I'm like, what? And so in my brain, so now my brain is working overtime because now I'm like, does she know that this is me and she's playing in my face? So part of me is like, is this bitch playing in my face trying to be my friend after that situation? Because I don't know if she knows that you get what I'm saying? I don't know what she knows about me and him, or I don't know anything. I don't know what's happening in regards to does she know that I was in a relationship with him? Does she know? Because it also was weird that after all those many years of them not talking, that she hits him up when I leave town. Do you see what I'm saying? All these things felt like weird coincidences, and I don't trust no bitches. And so in my brain, I was like, and now years later, you trying to be my friend? Huh? And so, but then in my brain also was like, well, there was no way for her to know. But I did put some videos out. I did put some pictures out. We may be connected in some kind of way, and she saw them and didn't say nothing. I don't know. My brain was working overtime. So in that moment, I said, well, let me call and tell Brianna what's happening. And I called her and told her to tea, and Brianna gagged. And then I was like, I can't be friends with her. Just the fact that this is a potential that she could have known anything about it. The fact that that is potential could be the thing. I don't want to be her friend. And so I stopped responding to her. Because if you knew what was going on and now you in my face trying to be cute, that is late to me. That's tired and will get you twirled. So that was it. That was really the end of the story. I had met the girl that was the catalyst of us breaking up 10 years later, and she's trying to be my friend, and I wasn't gonna be her friend no more. I still haven't talked to him. He lives in Houston. Um he lives on the north side now. And so in the hood, still in the hood. And it was quite weird and interesting for me to meet up with this girl in an activist space, because that's where we was, in an activist space, and she was the catalyst of our breakup. And so that's how we broke up. We broke up in 2000, right after the 4 months of our relationship, and we never talked again. And I ended up meeting the girl 10 years later, and potentially was going to become friends, but then we did not, because don't play in my face. And so that is the story of how me and Jamarcus broke up. I didn't see this happening. I didn't either. I was gagged when you told me. Yes, God, the bitch was trying to poison your ass. Trying to get me to come to her house. I hate that I got here so late. We were all rooting for you. Yes. It's like he talked to you about her, then he might have mentioned you as well. Yeah, they could have talked after I stopped fucking with them. They didn't have any conversation prior other than the old ones, but after we broke up, he could have talked to her and dealt with her. But then she told me and Brianna that she had been married to old boy for 10 years. So that means she got married with him in 2013. But that was when she had moved to Katy. Remember, she said she had moved to Katy. She cooks down, but it comes with strings attached. Yes, child. Woo. Yeah, so I wasn't even gonna play with her child. Cause then the powder keg of the limited patience that I would have with her just because of that scenario, I didn't even want to play with it. Hey Robert, how are you? I think I saw her at my show one time, but I couldn't remember if it was her because, like you said, she wasn't looking as thick, but her cheeks were kind of drawing to the conclusion that it was her. Yeah, them cheeks didn't go down. But yes, I didn't even want to play with that. Just the idea, it will wreck my brain. Just the idea that you could have potentially knew what was going on and was trying to play in my face. Anything go wrong in our relationship, I'ma be wanting to twirl you just because. So I just was like, I ain't even gonna play. I ain't even gonna play with her like that. Let's just leave it is what it is. Just be strangers in community. Oh. All right. What y'all want to talk about? Especially because she was trying to force y'all friendship now. Yeah, I wasn't for sure what it was. But I do think she just is she's a lonely trans woman. She's that's stuck out there. You know, her husband got kids and I think she thought she wanted that kind of suburban housewife life, but that suburban housewife life is boring. So, she got her coochie, and so, you know, that's what it is. I am not watching Love and Death. I am watching Citadel. I love Citadel. What else am I watching? I just got finished with Charlotte, which I love. Um, yeah, she got her coochie. She needs to get a hobby. Yes, she was trying to make her friends her hobby, us her hobby. Um, what do you think of Janelle's Monet's new sexy image? It's two things. Um, Trying to be friends with housewife transsexuals is hard, definitely. Um, so I feel like Janelle's Monet new video is just a soft film tip drill video, a Nelly's tip drill. I put this on my Twitter feed as well. It's and my Facebook. I feel like it's just a tip drill video, but from a soft film. um, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. And this, I'm not saying this because I don't know that non-binary people can present however they want to present. Non-binary does not have a look. But I find it quite interesting that when Janelle Monáe comes out as non-binary, her image gets more traditionally femme. Because even before her image was a little bit, you know, kind of middle of the road. She'll be in pants and slacks with an updo, something. But it's interesting that once she comes out as non-binary, her image just get femme and naked. Yeah, it's not saying that that can't be a non-binary image. I don't know. Because it's hard for me to run with you not being binary if you being the typical femme binary person. It's hard. I know, like I said, I'm smart enough to know that non-binary does not have a look, but I just find it interesting that her look is becoming more traditionally femme now that she's out as non-binary. um Um, I thought the same thing. I was looking for the credit card. Right. It was very Tip Drill Child. Um, Lizzie Olsen playing again. Lily Ride is a good acting going on. I don't know who those people are. The Android era was so androgynous, mostly male leaning. I love the Android era. Oh, it was so good. You know, she started to get more and more film. Like the Electric Lady got a little bit more film. Still black and white, but a little bit more film. But yeah, the more the when she come out as non-binary, the more film she got. Elizabeth Olsen is a Scarlet Witch. I don't know how that I don't know how she came up. How did she come up in the conversation? I see somebody said it, but Lily Olsen playing against Lily Rabe is some good acting. Are we talking about is that Love and Death? Is that what we're talking about? Is that what Elizabeth Olsen is in? I was in love with her during the Android era. Yeah, she was love. I thought it was going to be 4 episodes, Brandon, but it was more. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah. I think I remember seeing her pictures. I haven't got to watch it, but I heard it was good. I'm gonna have to watch it. I've been going through your video just for the nostalgia. Did you ever speak to your high school friend you spotted talking you stopped talking to because he was calling you by your dead name? Oh, that's an interesting story. A short but interesting story. So my long-term friend Mario, if anybody doesn't know, I stopped talking to him because he just not in my situation he had stopped just kind of would use my dead name to people. But one day I had got a call from our mutual friend, and she was like, "Hey, you need to call Mario." And I hadn't talked to him in like a year. And I was like, "Why do I need to talk to him?" And she was like, "Just call him. I don't need to tell you. I'll let him tell you." And so I called, and he hits me up, and I say, "What do you want?" And he's basically, um, "You talk about Mario in the first season of Pose Reviews." Yes, if you watch Pose, I did some Pose reviews and I talked about it. Um, and he calls and he was like, "Can I just talk to you? I got something to talk to you about." And I was like, "What do we have to talk about, sweetie?" Because it was over. Like our friendship was over and we don't need to talk about anything. You can't get my pronouns right. I'm not my pronouns. You can't get my name right. Like, you get what I'm saying? That shit pisses me off. And I'm too old to deal with that type of level of disrespect. So get the fuck out of here. From my friend, from my longtime friend, A gay nigga, get out of here. No. And so he's like, can you just stop being a bitch right now? I have something to tell you, and can you just not be a bitch right now? And so I call, and he basically tells me that he has um AIDS, and he's probably gonna die. And I say, what? It's 2014. People don't die of AIDS. Why are you not on your medication? Like, what? This is not fucking 1988. why are you why are you not on your medication? What's going on? And he says, well, I actually just found out. I didn't know that I was sick. And so I haven't been on medication. And I and I had um a toothache, and it kept getting worse and worse and worse, super super painful toothache. And I went to the doctor about it, and because it wouldn't get better. And the doctor told me that I couldn't, that it wasn't healing itself because my T cells were so low. And I was like, Mario, you couldn't not just, this is just me being shocked in the moment. And I was like, Mario, you couldn't tell something was going on, nigga. Like, look at you. You, because he had sent me a picture, and I was like, you don't look healthy. Like, what is going on? Like, you look, we know what this looks like. Cause no, you can't tell when somebody has HIV or has AIDS if they, when, especially when they first get it. But we know what somebody who is dying of something looks like. We done been in this game for a long fucking time. So I know when somebody is positive and they're about to pass, because it's a certain look, it's a certain sunk inness. It's a if they're not on their meds and they about to get up out of here, we can tell it because we done seen it. We lived in this life. We know what it looked like. The body, they get fucking skinny, the face gets sunken all in, they get gray looking. We know what it looked like. And so you looking like that, my nigga, and you ain't never been this fucking small in your fucking life. You been a big ass 6'4", 300 and some pounds. You looking my size. How you don't know something is going on? And you know the lifestyle we in. So what the fuck are you doing? So inappropriately, I'm getting angry with him because I haven't talked to my friend in years. We're talking about HIV and AIDS, and I'm angry with my friend about that, angry with him not taking care of his body when we've been bludgeoned across our fucking head with HIV since we came out. we came out in the early 90s. We have been bludgeoned about HIV. We could not get out of, we couldn't get around it on a negative level and a positive level. So how are you in this situation? Very inappropriate, but I was angry. And so he tells me, the doctor says, well, um, do you know who you got it from? And Mario says, now we're on the phone, and our life has been full of us kikiing about shit. And he says, I looked at the doctor, bitch, and I look at him and start cackling, bitch. Cause how I'm gonna tell, do you know who I am? I don't know. You know how many motherfuckers I fucked raw just cuz. And we we cackle about it, but I know he's a whore. So, and he's not just a whore just because, oh, I like sex. He is a whore. He's a low self-esteem whore, not just a oh, I enjoy sex whore. He is a I'm a low self-esteem whore who I will mess with a dude raw just to make me feel fish, just to make me feel like he loves me. That is the type of person Mario was. He's somebody that grew up um with low self-esteem. He had got in a accident when he was younger on some stairs, and it shifted his teeth. So he had this weird ass kind of messed up tooth right here. He's always been big, hairy, and tall. So people always tease him about his weight because he was always obese. And so people calling him fat, and people calling him ugly. And he just always had this kind of low self-esteem. And and men were his kryptonite. Men were him wanting men to love him and treat him like fish and treat him like um that was his thing. Like, I could tell that this was his relationship with men was very, very toxic. And when he fell in love with them, it, it um it you could tell like it was a toxic, dangerous situation. And so on the conversation, um in the conversation, we make amends, and we talk, and I'm like, so what is happening, baby? Like, what is like, have they put you on meds? Have they put you in a situation? um and so I do think that Mario was trans, but I think Mario is also the type of person who would feel ridiculous trying to be a woman because he doesn't have anything. His Him being a woman would be such an uphill battle and I don't think he had the guts for it. If I'm to be honest, I think that if he had any semblance of a woman, that he could have, he would have ran with it. But I mean, Mario had like a size 16 shoe. Mario's like 6'4", hair all over his body. I mean, like Sasquatch level, all over his body. Big ass hands, big ass head. Like, he was a man, man. More of a like, he was more physically masculine than dudes that we knew. Like, as far as like his physicality, um, not ogre, but not ogre. He wasn't. I'm trying to give. He wasn't. Trying to give. You know who he looked like? I don't know what's his name. He's a dude that. Oh, I can show y'all. I can actually show y'all. Hold on. I have his obituary on my altar. One second. So he wasn't. He was like. It was his physicality. It wasn't that he was an attractive man, but to go to be a woman, like for a dude, like people would like him, like for a dude, but he was a man. Like, if he wanted to be like a bomb dude, yes, he could get his body together. He tall, he big, but it's nothing about him that was feminine. Nothing about him that was feminine. And so, ooh. So, but I do think if it was, I do think he would have transitioned. Yeah, for a dude. Yeah, like I don't think he was an unattractive man, but I think to be a woman, yes, he would have had a long way to go. And I don't think that he had I don't think he had that kind of wherewithal to deal with what would come. The voice was Fish. He sung soprano in the church. He was a amazing singer, like a church singer, because he could sing tenor, alto, and soprano, baby. And he would you Mario was one of them church sissies. That's number one. That's another thing too. He was a church sissy. So there was a level of church guilt. Um, there was a level of church guilt. There was a level of it was a lot of stuff. A big dude like that would have been my babe. Did he start HIV treatment and what did he ultimately die from? So, yes, apparently a month he they have gave him his meds, but I don't really know exactly what it was, but I know that whatever happened, he said that they basically told him that he had like a month, even with the meds. So whatever it was, that's what it was. I don't know if he had cancer, but what he passed away was of pneumonia a month after we reconciled. So we talked and we chit chatted, back and forth, for that whole month. And he said they had gave him some meds, so to try to get his viral load up, and um, they told him to stay in the bed, don't stay where he was at, don't be out and about in the cold and da da da, all that kind of shit. But yeah, this was October the 25th. So this was in Indiana in October. So it was a little chill. Um, and he, yeah, pneumonia will take you up out of here. And so I had to fly back to Indianapolis for his services. And what was beautiful, this was a beautiful moment. So I had went to my friends. My friend Tia is the one who took me to the funeral. And so the whole time me and Tia, me and this it's crazy how this happened. The whole time me and Tia is in the car, and we're driving to the wake. and and me and Tia is talking about trade. You know, in the car with your Judies and y'all just talking about trade or talking about how niggas is and whatever. So we talk about trade. Da, 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 da. So we get to the parking lot, and we in her van, and we talk about something totally different. But we're not late, but the stuff has started. And so I, I tell her, she's driving, I'm in the passenger seat. So I get out the car, and I pull the handle, and and my brain is still in Kiki mode with her, but my brain catches up to what we are doing. And I say to her, "Come on, girl, let's go in here so I can bury my friend." And as soon as it comes out of my mouth, the emotion comes out of me. And I hadn't cried about losing him. And I get out of the car, and it just hits me. So now I'm bawling. And so I come up to the wake. I'm in my hometown. So I know everybody in this motherfucker who gonna be in there. They either done went to high school with me, they done, you know what I'm saying? They know the old me. So I ain't been back to Indianapolis. This 2014. I hadn't been back in some years. So I'm like, I'm about to and seeing these people in years. So I'm about to be sickly. So I came to the funeral, honey, in all black but beat. And so I tip in, and one of our good friends, Napoleon. Napoleon is a minister of music. the the stereotype. Napoleon says, "Who is that?" And he recognized me. He says, "What? That's Miss Diamond, girl!" And he grabs me by my arm and pulls me into the wake and takes me into the room, and I sit in the back. And I sit in the back, and I'm because I have a rule in funerals. I don't go up to the casket. I don't ever do that. I learned my lesson with my aunt, her. Um, I don't like that I have the memory of her in the casket. So I like remembering her like this. And I have a memory in my brain of her being in the casket and not looking like herself. And I went up to her casket and kissed her. And feeling the coldness of her body, and I shouldn't have did that. I don't like having that memory. And so when my Mario died, I said I'm not gonna go to the casket, and I'm not gonna go to the casket and have that memory of him. So I never walked up to the casket to see him there. And so I was in the back, and his mother um his mother said, once his mother got on the mic, she was like, "Diamond," she was like, "Diamond, you need to come up here. You was family too." Which was so affirming. Um, and they let me get on the mic and talk about my friend, because I was my friend. I was my friend's first gay friend, like in the gay community. And so most of the people that were talking on the mic were talking about him from a family. Oh, we remember when he was young, and his basically his boy self, and making these kind of, we knew he was gonna be who he was gonna be, these kind of slick queer jokes. Like, we knew he was gonna like what he liked. Because it's nothing but his brothers, because he got a tons of brothers. And so they making these kind of jokes. And so when I got on the mic, not they weren't negative jokes, but they're kind of these little, oh, we knew he was gonna be have some sugar in his tank, and shit like that. And so his niece Ivory was like, "Hey," um, they asked me to speak. And once I got the mic, I was like, "Well, I knew Mario in a different way." I knew Mario in a way where he didn't have to hide or feel ashamed. And I just gave this whole talk about how we were able to be free with each other. We were able to see each other and love on each other and be each other's friend for years and years and years. Um, because Mario, out of all of my friends, all of them, every single one, Mario is the one that I kept in contact with consistently, because me and Mario talked all the time. So I have other friends like Ty, but like, if me and Ty don't have to talk all the time. That's not really how we talk, when we talk. But me and Mario, there, until we stopped fucking with each other, that year after he was not getting my fucking the dead name shit, from the time I was 14 to the time to that year, I talked to Mario at least twice to four times a week. Or more, depending on what's going on. So from the time I was 14 years old till he passed away in 2000, until 2013, the year before that. I talked to Mario at least, the very least is 2 times a week. We talk to each other at least twice a week, usually four. So we consistently for my whole life, this has been a confidant, us um, talking to each other, and if it's anything going on, Mario is going to be the first person to know it. He's going to be the first person. He's the person because he's so, there's some people that you like to kiki with about what's some tea going on because he's so animated and funny and attentive about tea. He's that kind of person. So you can kiki with him all day long about whatever tea that's going on. And so, and we like music, so we could kiki about the Grammys, we could kiki about culture. We just that was the type of friends that we were. And so we would be on the phone with each other all week long, even no matter, and it didn't stop when I moved out of the state. He was the person that I talked to when I was in college. He was the person that I talked to when I was in high school. He was the person that I was talking to when I was in, when I moved to Houston. He was my confidant. And so the only negative about our relationship is that I do feel that there was a level of resentment. There was a level of, I feel like he wanted to transition. I feel like he would have transitioned if it was any way possible that he could have passed. Because we come up in an era where passing was the standard. And if you could not pass, bitch, please. That's just what it was. And so I feel like there was a resentment that he held on to. And I called it out many times, but he would always deny it and say, "Oh, you just being a light-skinned bitch that think everybody want to be you." But that wasn't what it is. That wasn't what the fuck it was. Nigga, I can tell by shit. And he admitted it years later. So I knew I was onto something. But he would blame it on like on some colorism shit. He would blame it on some, oh, that you being light skinned. You just think because, oh, you light skinned red and you think everybody jealous of you. Bitch, what? Fuck out of here. That's not why. It's shit that you say that's triggering me to think that you want to be a fucking woman. Anytime you bring me over your fucking house to get to there's a piece of trade in your apartment that you want me to pull because you can't pull it because you this big 6'4" ass dude, and I got the fish shit going on. You bring me to pull them, and then when I pull them because you want me to pull them, you get mad at me fucking pulling them. Or and you'll be running around sulking. You brought me here to have the trade. And then when I have them, you running around. Oh, girl. Oh, girl. What? You literally called me over here to have the boy. And then he'll just say little things. Oh, you better be glad that I'm not one of the girls because I would terrorize the city. If I was you, I would do this. He would always try to critique how I was doing my fish and how he would do it. And eventually, years after years after that, he did admit it. He did admit it. So I was fucking right. And so we had this whole there was a weird energy, mostly positive, but there was a weird energy of jealousy. It was, and I don't even think it was jealousy. I don't think he was jealous of me in the sense of I don't know. I say resentment. He resents his life in a way that he couldn't do what I think he would have wanted to do. So yeah. So yeah, rest in peace. I would have loved for him to live. He was getting, yeah, he was having trade that he could have. He lost his he lost his virginity on a fucking subway train station floor when we both were still virgins. And he lost his before me getting plunged by a trade on a public bathroom floor. Like his whole, now this is a 6'4" ass dude. He in this public, you remember Union Station? I know you do, Deja. He lost his virginity in Union Station and he had to lay his body across the stalls. You know that how that little hole in the stall where you can see people's feet. He had his head in this stall, his booty in this stall, and his feet in this stall. And Trey was in the stall plunging his booty for the first time with not even no lube, with spit as lube. And that's how he lost his virginity. I used to read him. I was like, you are trash. Why, of all the places to lose your virginity, you lose your virginity on a dirty ass public floor? That is gross. Oh girl, with a piece of trade that was in the group home with me. Sometimes it's okay to be a little trashy. You know, it is. But at that time in my life, I was still in my first lady church girl era. And that wasn't classy. You supposed to lose your virginity in a classy way on soft pillows and clean sheets. But he's always been that. He's always been trash. Glory hole classy. Very that. But yeah, I do miss my friend. My friend was cool as hell. Like definitely loyal. Like if I one time when I got oh, what time we got? I guess I could tell this story really, really quick. Since we in good story time. Um so y'all know I got fired from a job for the very first time that I ever got fired for being no, this is the second time that I got fired for being trans. So I got fired from a job. And I told y'all that at this job, if y'all been around, y'all heard this story. They were bothering me. Basically, they were harassing me at the job, right? And about my cousin spilled my tea. So I had been at the job for like a month, and nobody knew my tea. All the trade was living for me so much they was calling me Beyonce. Not because I look like Beyonce, but because this was a time when Beyonce had did her like a little work it out. She had done work it out in 2001, and this is 2002. And I had my hair just like this, but it was like that Beyonce kind of blonde and brown. And so they were calling me Beyonce because of the hair, not because I was sickening like Beyonce, but because of I was wearing my hair like Beyonce in the work it out video. And so they were calling me Beyonce, and they were flirting and they were living, and all the dudes in the factory, because we were at a computer factory. All the dudes in the factory was living because I was a new cute girl that's in the plant, and they just giving me my rides. But I have a shady ass cousin named Kim who is getting annoyed by the fact that they not clocking me. Not Bonnie Louise, it's a whole different situation. So Kim woo, so one time one of the dudes was in the I guess the lunchroom, and the dude was like, I guess the dude was saying that I was fine. Like, I guess apparently I left out the lunchroom, and the dude start talking about how fine I was. Okay. And so the dude is like, what you they're like, the things I do to her and da 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 da. Nah, mine's not allergies. Mine is I'm getting over a cold, but it's still kind of a little bit of congestion. Some weird shit. Um, so um she says, so apparently the dudes is in the lunchroom talking about how what they would do to me. Like, oh, she's so fine. Da, 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 da. And my cousin says, that ain't no fucking she, and gags them. And they say, and Trader's like, what you mean? And she says, oh, I grew up with him. That's not no fucking girl. That's not a woman. So, a hating ass bitch. typical hating ass bitch. So, so she spills my tea. It started going all over it started going all over the plant. It started to be weird. Started to be weird, started to be late. They start doing little weird stuff. So this dude, one of my supervisors, he's not my so what I did at this job was we would build computers based on the order. So as it comes down the line, we had different things that we could put in the computer or put on the computer, like a sticker or something. And so we're on a power line. And so computers is going down the assembly line, and your job is to do a certain thing. If the you pick up the paper, if it says a certain thing, you put certain things in it. It's kind of, I don't know if y'all ever had a job like this, but you basically building a computer, and your job is to do a certain thing. And it's a speed that you have to do it. It's like they coming down, and so your job, if I'm supposed to put this type of motherboard in there, so each time I see the paper, it says is I'm supposed to look and see if this is a more like assembly line, and I'm supposed to put my portion in there, and you gotta go fast. You can't go slow. And so when you first starting, they just throw you in there, so you gotta get it up, like you gotta speed it up. And so I'm going fast. I'm quick, so I start going fast. So I do the job really really well. So there are four different power lines. Four different power lines. So one of I'm on power line 2. Each power line has a different supervisor. So power line 1 has this supervisor named Gino. Gino is fine, chocolate, tall, gorgeous. What the one to me, I think the finest dude on at the job. What they don't know, I've already messed around with Gino. I messed around with Gino before I even got this job. Didn't even know he worked here. Messed around with Gino. I met him on the chat line, and he came over the house. I gobbled that meat up. He was fine. The meat was very average, fat average, like about a fat 6. You know, I already had messed around with him. So when I came into this job, I had already had him. And so, but I met him. It was a hookup. It wasn't, I didn't need to tell him my tea because I just sucked his dick. So we just was messing around. And so I didn't tell him my tea. We hooked up. It is what it is. So I'm coming to work. Now, he has been flirting with me because he remembers that I gobbled that meat up. He remembers. So when my tea gets spread all everywhere, this is how he found out my tea. And so what people don't know our history, and I don't tell anybody our history. And so nobody knows anything. But because he is like one of the fine dudes, and these are nothing but childish ass people around us, they started doing this weird ass stuff. Like, let me give you an example. So Gino he left his keys in the lunchroom. And so what they would do, this is what they would, little dumb shit. So what happened was he left his keys in the lunchroom. Somebody came up to me and said, hey, give Gino his keys. And they hand me Gino's keys in my hand, and I'm supposed to take them to Gino because we're going back to the power line. So when they give me the keys, I say, oh, okay. And I take it to Gino in his power line. The dude who gives me the keys come over to us while I'm giving him the keys, and he take a picture of me and Gino talking. I'm just handing him his keys, but he takes a picture and send it with some little text on it talking about, look at this nigga trying to be with the tranny. Like, he puts a little text on it and send it to his team members. Childish little stupid shit like that. So it's just this weird ass high school shit that they were doing, but everybody is grown. And so it started to get bad. Like, it started to be these childish little silly stuff that they were doing. Like, really, it was childish stuff, but I wasn't responding to anything, and I was doing my job really, really well. So I just was, it was nobody was putting their hands on me or calling me disrespectful names. Well, as far as to my face. So I really wasn't tripping. And I want y'all to understand what I was going through. I had just got custody of my brother, and we just got a place to stay. It's the middle of the winter. We just got our house. My mom had went to prison. You get what I'm saying? I was in a bad time, so I needed this job. So I'm not letting nobody ruin this job for me. Like, in my mind, I'm like, y'all can call me all the trends y'all want. I don't care. I'm gonna sit here and deal with it. I ain't gonna let nothing get to me because I need this money so me and my brother can survive. Because I hadn't been, remember, at this time, I had never been an escort. And I still was in my old mindset of prostitution bad. That's for hoes. That's for unclassy street hoes. That's not you. So I hadn't the evolved trans woman that you see in front of you today. I was not that. I was a young 22-year-old stuck up, never hoed before in my life, only worked in my life because I had worked since I was fucking 13. Only worked. I never had to turn no tricks. I was still in that mindset. And so I'm just gonna do this fucking job, and I'm not gonna let them get to me. I'm just gonna deal with whatever. They can call me trannies, they can do whatever. I'm just right. I was in my Kojak Karen Clark, baby. and so, but I'm not gonna let them get to me. I done been in this situation where people being childish to me. I went through high school and junior high. No, I'm gonna keep this damn job. So that was my mindset. I'm not gonna argue with nobody. They can call me whatever. They can call me a man. I just was letting them do whatever. I wasn't, and nobody was coming into me, oh, you a man, or you, it wasn't that. It just was jokes. It was like little childish stuff, like I just explained. Anyway, so it started to get really bad though. Like, it started to be, yes. Y'all remember she got mad at me for shaking my ass for the $20 man. Yes. so I was not gonna let them wear me out. So I wasn't responding to nobody. So you can say what you want, you can do what you want, however games y'all gonna play. Y'all not, because I got a little boy at home that I gotta take care of, and I'm not losing this job. Y'all got me fucked up. I'm gonna be on this power line too, doing my job faster than everybody else, and that's what it's gonna be. But it started to get bad. Like, it started to get to where it wasn't just one person doing something. It started to be a bunch of people doing little stupid pranks, little shit that was kind of like disrupting the work environment. It had nothing to do with me, but it just was multiple things, and it just started to get weird, like weirdly childish. And so it got so bad that the supervisor called a meeting with about 7 people, me and 6 other people. And so we got in the office, and he got to the bottom of it, and everybody admitted their wrongdoing. And they admitted that I had nothing to do with it. And so he told them in the office, y'all need to grow the fuck up. Y'all are grown ass people, and the stuff that y'all doing is childish. Stop harassing people, and if y'all do anything else, I'm gonna fire all y'all motherfuckers. And so y'all need to grow the fuck up. Get out of my office and stop all of this bullshit. And so Everybody is like, cool, all right, we got you. We gonna leave it alone. And so that he tells everybody leave the office except for me. I'm in the seat, like think I don't know what's about to happen because I know that I'm not about in my brain. I don't think I'm about to get in trouble because they have admitted that I have nothing. I've done nothing wrong, and the supervisor have admitted that I do my job really really well. So I'm not thinking nothing is about to happen because I ain't done nothing. And so I'm sitting in there, and he's a black dude, old uncle looking ass nigga, and he buff like you know them old dudes that be in the gym. They kind of got muscles, but they got a gut too. He was that type of dude, a black dude, gray hair, gray waves, and so he was like, "So how you doing, Miss Diamond?" Um, I say, "I'm good." Hey, so look, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I never had these problems before you came here. Before you came here with whatever you got going on. That ain't none of my business. They ain't got nothing to do with this. But I'm just going to keep it real with you. It's easier for me to replace one person than for me to replace six people. And all those six people that just left here are some of my best people online. So if you are going to continue to be a problem and to the point where I'm going to have to replace six people, I want you to know that I'm going to fire you. Was it fair? No. Was it logical? Yes, because it is easier to replace me than to replace all those six people. Do I have any legal discourse? I do not because we didn't have no protections in 2002. Definitely in Indiana. And so there was no legal discourse for me to deal with anything. And so he said, if I have any more problems out of you, I'm going to let you go. And so I went back to my power line doing my job, but niggas is gonna nig. And something else happened, and I end up being fired. And not fired in the way like, oh, you're fired. Fired in the way where they're stop putting me on the schedule. That's the way you fire somebody without actually firing them. Just don't put them on the schedule. Oh, you're not on the schedule this week. Then you don't have to do nothing. So so that's how I got fired from that job. The reason why I'm telling you this story, that give you what was going on. So before it got what made us get to the point of the office, okay? What made us get to the point of the office? That's what Mario. I was remembering why I told y'all this story. What Mario have to do with this? So what made us get to the point where we were all in that damn office? There was a situation where somebody had said something. Now, mind you, I've been dealing with this stuff for about a month at this point. And now my thing is, I don't care about, I can deal with people just saying stuff or little pranks, but I cannot deal with like direct disrespect. I can't deal with that because I don't have my brain doesn't have the whatever I need to cut that off to disassociate that. So any kind of direct in my face disrespect that triggers my anger. So I can't. I don't know. I'm not mature enough to cut that off. That's about life anyway. Like I'm somebody that I'm this close to being in prison because I know if you get me angry to the point, I will shoot you, fight you, do whatever, just because I haven't controlled that part of my brain. So that direct disrespect. And so there was this girl who somebody asked me about her hair. And if queens, queens, the queens got nasty mouths. We just got naturally nasty mouths. We just got naturally. Sometimes we ain't even trying to read, but it comes out as a read. Just because that's just us. And so somebody asked me a question about this girl's hair. Now, this girl is like a bangy girl. She she kind of she's somebody who they always got cute clothes on. They always got their hair done, but it's their hair done in a bangy 27-piece kind of way. It's always they always bangy. Like that's a certain aesthetic, which I like. I'm like, cool. That's a cool. Do your thing. So she was a pretty girl, super always overpainted, always bangy 27-piece over that's super shiny and look like a wig, but it's a glue in. Anyway, it's not my aesthetic. I don't think it's sickening, but I can tell she's a pretty girl, but okay. But somebody asked me about her hair, and I say, "Oh, okay, well, hmm, okay, well, it's not really my style. It looks like a helmet. It's not really my style. It looks like a helmet to me." And in the moment, I just said it, and I wasn't trying to read, but it looked, Little Mo. Yes, Little Mo. Exactly, Little Mo. Like literally Little Mo. Like how, how Little Mo just looks overpainted all the time and has a bangy hairstyle, a wig that don't look sickening. That is exactly what this girl is. Except think of 2002. So they wasn't doing the lace front wigs and shit like that. It was more of that kind of 27-piece cut in freeze curl, that kind of shit. So, girl, I had said that her hair looked like a helmet, child. Why did I say that? Because they went back and told her that I said that her hair looked like a helmet. And honey, she was on a whole other power line. She was on power line 4, and she had came over to my power line 2 and told me to keep my name out of her mouth. Child came up to me and told me to keep it's a table that's like in front of us. It's like this 14 foot by 6 foot rectangle table in between us. And 14 by 5, kind of like 14 by 5, yeah. And she's on one side of it, and you fucking very pack here, yes. Um and she says, "You fucking drag queen." She tries to read me with the typical reads. "You drag queen, you just want to be me. You shouldn't have anything. I'm what you trying to be." The typical stuff. You could never talk about me. I'm um you know just the typical. I'm trying to be her, and you would never be a woman. You a fucking drag queen. Da 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 da. Typical shit that we hear all our life. and I say, um, and I say, and I look at her and I'm like, oh, okay, th- that's fine. Long as you stay over on that side of the table. And when I say that, everybody goes up in an uproar. Everybody goes up because it's a challenge. They took it as a challenge, but I'm looking at her like, girl, I will mollywop you. Like, if you don't get your ass out of my face, I was like, you can say all of that you want, long as you stay over there long as you stay on that side of the table. Long as this table is right here, you safe. What the fuck you mean? And she tries to come around the table. Now, this is a big 14 by 5 foot table. So So somebody grabs her before she gets around to me. Even no, she's nowhere near me. So somebody grabs her to stop her from coming around to me. This big 6'2" girl who was taller than me comes out of her mouth and say, "Oh," basically indicates that if she fights me, she's gonna jump in, basically. And so I say to her, I was like, now she would have got a little bit of grace because she's like 5'6". But your big 6'2" Sasquatch built, big back, shack with a split in, quick weave. I'll give you the business. She would have got a little grace, but I'm gonna fucking walk you. No, I'm gonna wear you out. And she was like, "Oh, well, then do." But none of these bitches come in my face. The dudes is kind of grabbing them and da 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 da. So now that it done got to the point where it's a turn up, my blood is boiling. So I go to the phone and I call Mario. And I was like, "Bitch, these niggas is up here talking about jumping me when I get off of work." Mario's like, "What? Huh? Oh." Now Mario lives on I live on the plant is on the west side of town. Way off of like 82nd in Michigan Road. I'm saying streets like y'all know this. And Mario lives way out on 34th and Emerson. So these are two opposite out of town. By the time Mario don't got nobody's car, by the time I got off of work, guess who was sitting in that parking lot? Mario was sitting in that parking lot with his do-rag on. What it is, bitch? What's tea? Just like this. Up against the car. What it is, bitch? What's tea? Who is it? Show me who it is. Who was trying to jump you? What's up? So we get up in the car, and we catch these bitches in the Burger King parking lot. And I don't even try to fight the little one. The little one, girl, I ain't try. I want to fight the big one. So I go over to the big one. I'm like, boom. I was like, "What's up now, big mama? Come on. Sasquatch, come on." Boom, boom, whopper. So the little one tried to come in. Mario say, "Mm-mm." Mario don't fight her, but he stops her from trying to jump in. Grabbed her by her hair. Baby, come on right here. And slung her over here while I'm molly whopping and big mama. Boom, 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 wearing her out. Now, mind you, I know that I'm gonna get I know I'm gonna get fired. Like, because of all this stuff, this mess, I know I'm gonna get fired. So I'm about to give y'all all the energy of anger in my spirit. And I wear her out. And she gets in her car. She tries to run me over. She couldn't run me over. And she peels off down Michigan Road. And then I bop the little short one, just to let her know, bitch. Da, 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 da. The next day, had to go to work because we didn't. They know it happened, but because it happened on Burger King parking lot, they couldn't fire me for that situation. They couldn't fire neither one of us for that situation. But being that I twirled them and I'm a man to them, they brought niggas up to fight me. But Mario, 6'4", Butch Queen, 360 pounds of 6'4" hairy man was there, and we like, let's go. We like, let's go, but none of them was trying to twirl. None of them was trying to twirl. They had brought them up there, but they didn't do nothing. We had other people come too. And so it was very, oh, y'all thought I was by myself? What's up? And so the next day, nothing happened. And maybe like a week later, there was this whole little thing, and they stopped putting me on the schedule. And so I was not on that job anymore. So Mario was always in my corner, was always, down to twirl, down to bang. So Mario loved me as a person, loved me as a person. We were each other's confidant, but I do feel like he would he would have transitioned, and I do think that there was a resentment. I don't think, I know it because he admitted it years later, years down the line. Yeah, you was locked up. Not that we didn't have many twirls, but but yeah, it was yeah, it was a resentment there. Oh, definitely. And so before what I do appreciate is before he actually did die, we did make up. Do you see what I'm saying? He did call me, and we talked about what was going on, and we talked that whole month. We were talking, we were basically back on our schedule of talking one or two times a week. Got back to that last month, we were talking one or two times a week, and we talked about what had happened that whole year for me, and just different shit that was going on. And yeah, that was 2000. A lot of shit has shifted for me during that time as well. He died in 2014. I had stopped being friends with my gay mom in 2013. I had stopped being friends with him. Yeah, it was a lot. What happened with your brother situation after that? What do you mean by that? I don't know. Yes, I do remember our last conversation. Our last conversation, he was putting this piece of tray out of his house because he wasn't contributing to the bills. Because Mario had lived with his mama for most of our adult life. Um, so he finally had got his own place. Because most of our adult life he lived with his mom, because his mom was older. His mom was in her 60s. So he was her caretaker. And so there was no point in him leaving. After you got fired and saving up for the place. Well, I had saved up for the place and paid to get in it. And so then I got fired. And so I was living in the place, but then I didn't have a job to pay for, you know, to pay for the next month rent, and so on and so on. And so that's when I got into sex work. My homegirl, um, Vanessa, had put up she was a drag queen too. So she had an ad, but she would go to work at the drag club. And during the time she was at the drag club, she would send me her clients, and I would give her a percentage of it. Well, of money out of it. And then I put up my own ad the next weekend, and I started turning my own clients. And so that's how I got into sex work, and the rest is history. And then you can go to my video with me and my brother to explain that. I have 2 videos with me and my brother. 3. Yeah. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Make sure y'all thumbs up if you are new here. Yeah, I miss my friend. Sometimes I miss my friend just kikiing, just how we used to kiki. Ooh, I made it to 10K on my Instagram. Yay. If you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. It is hard to lose friends. Yes. It is hard to lose friends. Yeah, it was a the beautiful thing is at his wake, he had you can tell when somebody was popular in the city because this was the popular um funeral home. It was Stewart Mortuary Stewart Funeral Home. Um, they had when Mario passed, it was cars wrapped around multiple blocks for his passing, and even his family was like gagged a little bit. But what they didn't, what they, and which is what I talked about during my little speech at his funeral because they didn't understand his impact because they were so weird about him being gay. They didn't understand his impact in the city because first of all, Mario was a church sissy who could sing. And so Mario was singing all the bomb choirs in the city. He was in the soprano section. Um, dope choir singer. And so that was number one. He had been doing that for most of his life because he was a church sissy. So that was one. So his impact in the church music scene was super, super big. That's number one. Then he started doing his voice was powerful, yes. And then he started doing lashes. So all the banji chicks and doing lashes really well. So all the banji chicks started to fuck with him because when the rest of the girlies was doing this is when lashes wearing lashes kind of first came back. All the other Banji girls was doing them thick ass caterpillar looking strips. Mario was cutting like different things, like the different things up, um, and doing individuals before individuals was popular. I'm pretty sure there's a film. There's a film of Mario singing. I just don't know who would have it. I'm pretty sure it is a film somewhere. Oh, it's probably old. It's just like VHS film somewhere. Um, but yeah, he was doing individual lashes before they were a thing, like the mink individuals. He was doing individuals before because he would cut up those kind of clusters into individuals and make them look natural. He used to kill it, and so he became popular and start making a coin doing lashes. And so that introduced him to a whole other group of people in the city. So he even got in the shop doing lashes, just doing lashes. The most popular shop in the fucking city. Um, so at his wake, it was standing room only. And I was like, even during my little talk, I was saying, like, look at the people that y'all didn't know that he was connected to. Like y'all were weird about. I didn't say this, but not in a. I said it, but in a different kind of way. Basically saying that y'all knew him. Y'all didn't get to know the adult Mario. Basically, like I knew him from. He was able to be open with me in a way that he couldn't be open with his family because his family was kind of homophobic and weird about him being gay. And so, and he was kind of, it was two of her children. They had a bunch of boys, two girls, and one of the girls is like a butch lesbian. And so the butch lesbian and Mario was kind of like the black sheep of the family. But the mother loved Mario because he was the baby. Also, Mario basically sacrificed his life for his mama because he never went out into the world. He stayed home taking care of his mama, his mom, because she was old and going going into early dementia, like all Parkinson's or Alzheimer's or something. So she was going to dementia level. And so he was the one who was taking care of her and not able to do anything because the other children wasn't taking care of their mama. But at the same time being rude about him being gay. So it was real weird and stuff. It was real weird. So I was able to imply that. I didn't say it directly because this wasn't the time to do it, but I implied that I knew a different Mario than y'all did. I knew him beyond the mask because I was able to get to know the real him. And many of us here that y'all don't know, because they were shocked that so many people came. Like that's what they kept reiterating during their different speeches was we didn't know he knew these many people. We didn't know he was this popular. We didn't know he was da 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 da. Da. And so when I came on, I was there to say, actually, Mario was very, very loved by his friends. And y'all didn't get to see that part of him because of, y'all relation to him in regards to that stuff. And people were snapping and like, duh. But because it was so packed, you knew that people loved him. But yes, my friend Mario. I love him. I miss him. Mario Jamal James. And I put his obituary on my altar just out of respect. Mm. But all right, y'all. I have been on here for 3 hours. And I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you came in late, just go back and listen to the story. Um, I know your book is going to be a page turner. Yes, it is so hard to get it right. I'm so it's not nervous. I just want to make sure I'm not missing something. What I don't want to happen with my book, it's very, very close to being done. What I don't want to happen is that I finish it and I'm reading and going through it and it's not there's a part that I'm missing. And one of the things that I missed um in the I'm adding a new chapter, and one of the things that I missed is I didn't really express the love. My book is about love and not just romantic love. Love before, I think I talked about this before, but love before I was an adult. How it was shown to me, how it was given and how it was taken away because of my queerness. How it was given and taken away in family relationships and social relationships, um community love, all versions of love, and how my queerness affected how I was treated in regards to love, romantic love, familial love, motherly love, brotherly love, all kinds of love ways. And so it's called The Love Beneath, and it's the stories that I told y'all, but also more stories, and those stories in detail, in some more detail to give you context. And so there was a element of there was an element that I needed to explain about my mom that I had never talked about that I wanted to explain in my book. There was an element of my dad, and I'm not talking about my dad that I found out about later on, my biological dad, but my assumed dad when I was younger, and how that affected me, his relationship with me, um, how my boyhood, the love of my boyhood, um, how the love of my boyhood never went away. Um, there's certain things that I want to talk about because it would explain shit later, that I didn't have, that I didn't explain in other chapters. So I wanted to explain it because one of my first engagement with death was my uncle being murdered by the police, my uncle Jeffrey, and having the talk with my mother about police as a young black boy. I wanted to tell that story because as a trans woman, now as an adult, it's very rare you're gonna have a woman is gonna have the experience of getting the police talk from a mama. I remember that talk, and I want to talk about that and how that impacted my life and how I think about black men, um, my love of black men, different things. So it's a couple of things that I wanted to add and wanted to share and how those things unfolded. And so it's just other chapters that I'm adding. But I just want it to be right and I don't want it to be parts missing. So yeah, I hope y'all like it. But it's coming. Be patient. Y'all been patient anyway. But yeah, it's coming and I just want it to be right and I want it to be enjoyable. But anyway, I will see y'all. Yay! 45 people watching and 45 people thumbs up. Yay! I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. I will see y'all next week. Oh, no, I won't. I will be in New Orleans. So if you're in New Orleans, hit me up. I will be in New Orleans starting Monday through I don't know, most basically a week. So I might not be here Friday or I'll be traveling on Friday. So yeah. I will see y'all probably the next week after that. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye bye.